This has been one of the most controversial weeks in Twitch's history. The story spans 2 years, there are allegations of sexual assault, and many of the platform's biggest streamers have weighed in on it. Here is the story in full. So everyone, this video is just going to be a summary of the events in full. There won't be room for much else, so just please follow along. And as a warning to you all, I want to let you know this video discusses sexual assault, sexual harassment, as well as suicide, so please take care of yourself. This story actually begins in 2021. A streamer named Novru appeared on John Jerka's stream and ended up discussing why she felt creeped out by another streamer, Crazy Slick.
People were saying that he was like being really creepy at my birthday party, which made me feel responsible because it was at my party. And then recently in January, something happened where he like hitting on my 19-year-old friend, which like had no business him talking to. Like it was literally no business at all, and was like trying to get her to take off her shirt in a call. But like I don't want to say these are like my stories.
Then on July 6th, Adriana Lee, a variety streamer, posted a twit longer that said the following. I was the girl Novru was talking about in the clip on LSF. On January 19th, 2020, I went to Novru's 21st birthday party because I went with some of my closest friends. I believed it would be safe for me to enjoy myself. I got very intoxicated and ended up blacked out. Leading the rest of the story, what I've heard from multiple witnesses and how I feel about it. Apparently, I was passed out in one of the rooms at the party, and he came into the room while I was unconscious. He came into the room a couple of times after being asked to leave me alone each time. In 2 of those instances, he touched my neck and chest, saying he was just making sure I was alive, after being assured by my friends that I was okay as they were watching over me. Whether or not his intentions were out of genuine concern or not, I don't know. To be clear, he did not rape me or assault me, but his actions did make me uncomfortable. Crazy Slick wrote a twit longer addressing this, which we got from a recent Adriana Lee stream, since Slick has since deleted his Twitter. He wrote, I'm incredibly sorry for making Adriana feel uncomfortable at a party a year ago, and very sorry for her friends that night for having to put up with me. I was drunk and anxious, and my intentions were to check her pulses because I was worried. Crazy Slick's friend Ms. Kiff and his then girlfriend streamer Maya Higa went live to address the situation.
I thought I was gonna lose Slick. I thought I would have to kick him out of my house because I would not tolerate any of that. I'm not. If just, even though Slick's my best friend, I hang out with him literally every day. I'm not gonna tolerate stuff like that, and I would totally kick him out of the house. Because what I thought, which was the worst, was that something horrible happened.
We're very grateful to Adriana for doing the tweet that she did, because she was forced into that position, and she talked about her past experiences, which is super brave and really, really hard to do. He said that what Slick did was inexcusable, and that's true because Slick made people uncomfortable, even though it wasn't his intention. So he needs to take accountability for that, and he is taking accountability for that. The important thing that she said in her statement, and the reason that Slick is staying here and having the opportunity to take that accountability, is because Slick was creepy and made people uncomfortable, but he did not assault anybody and he did not rape anybody, which I think a lot of people made the assumption that he did after the clip from Novru yesterday.
After that, the story completely faded from the headlines. People were aware of the accusations, but nothing came of it. Recently, though, the story came back, and it stemmed from a completely separate controversy. On September 17th, just last week, Twitch content creator Slicker, not Crazy Slick, was accused by multiple people of scamming them out of money, allegedly for his gambling debts. He went live later that day and confirmed these allegations.
The people that I done dirty, I'm really sorry. I will try and keep individually messaging you guys. I want to reach out to you guys, and I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want to say, I want to apologize.
Slicker is alleged to have scammed hundreds of thousands of dollars from people, including his own viewers. This caused a big discussion in the Twitch community about whether or not gambling should be allowed on Twitch, since Slicker was using the money to pay off gambling debts. Ms. Kiv weighed in on the 18th, saying, like if you think Twitch should ban gambling, and hashtag Twitch stop gambling. On the 19th, people were still discussing the shocking news of Slicker and his gambling debts, including Asmongold, who tweeted, how the f is Slicker not banned on Twitch? Guy literally uses the platform to defraud dozens of people, streamers and viewers alike, and admits it. Gideon is still sitting a perma while Slicker gets to go live and laugh about actual crime. It's an absolute disgrace at Twitch. Streamer Trainwreck replied to this tweet saying, because your pals decided it was in their best interest to use and platform the very person that scammed everyone for his horse racing and tennis bets to somehow twist it and wager their war against me, and we both know deep down why the insecure little man is doing this. Miskiff replied to this in a now deleted tweet saying, if we're going to deplatform people for scamming others, shouldn't we have banned you for Joltcoin a few years back? Joltcoin is a cryptocurrency that Trainwreck was linked to back in 2017. Trainwreck responded to this by saying, are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up all those sexual assaults, you fucking scumbag piece of shit? You want to come at me and make shit up, then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure. And later follows up with a clarification saying, Mizkif didn't assault the women, he orchestrated the cover-ups for his friends, exactly how my tweet reads. So if you're having trouble following, Slicker got caught scamming people for gambling money. This prompted Mizkif and others to advocate for the banning of gambling on Twitch and for them to take action against Slicker. And in turn, that caused Train to accuse Miz of covering up sexual assault. Adriana later on her stream confirmed that this was in fact of her alleged experience with Crazy Slick, which we talked about earlier in the video. And from here on, we're now returning to talking about Crazy Slick and the sexual assault allegation. We will not be talking about Slicker and the scamming situation. As the story blew up, controversial streamer Ice Poseidon then posted screenshots of DMs between himself and Ms. Kiv, which appear to show Ms. Kiv using racist and homophobic slurs, saying, Ms. Kiv, I brought you into this world and now I'm taking you out. A clip also resurfaced from September 2021 of Ms. Kiff talking about Adriana Lee's alleged experience and downplaying the entire situation.
I mean, no one, of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit and really cared. I'm gonna turn this off if you're gonna be like this. I'll just turn it off.
Maya Higa went live to explain how she interacted with Adriana after the incident with Slick.
We all thought that Slick was gonna be, gonna have to move out and that everything was ending. Slick was my best friend at the time. I went over to try to figure out what happened. I wanted to clear up what happened, and I asked if she could include that it wasn't rape or sexual assault, because at the time she said that it wasn't. But she wanted to share that it made her uncomfortable, and she wanted to share her story. She did.
From what I can tell, Adriana had actually gone live right before that stream to tell her side of the story. It is a 2-hour long stream, but I watched it and Adriana addresses everything and more. It is a public VOD that I encourage you to go watch for any details that we don't cover here. Here, I will be doing my best to summarize the points she made, and I apologize for looking at my screen, but there is lots to cover. At the very beginning of her stream, she played a clip of Ms. Kiff talking about the situation.
I will pretty much say it. He harassed that girl. He did. He needs to get better. He needs to do better. It's wrong. It's fucking wrong. I really think he has a lot to work on, man.
Adriana expressed on stream that she is a survivor of sexual assault from before all of this. She said the Crazy Slick incident occurred when she was 19 years old. She explained how she passed out and fell asleep after drinking at a party. She said Slick came into the room as she was passed out to check in on her by checking her pulse, but was doing so on her chest and was told by people to stop doing so. This allegedly happened multiple times. This clip I'm about to show you was from something she recorded before talking about the situation.
I was drunk and then I passed out because I drank too much, but it was in an Airbnb, so I was just in a room. And then he kept trying to come in, feel my chest and touch my boob. And my friend was like, yo, stop. I was like, I'm just checking your pulse. He was like, dude, stop, you're not checking your pulse. And then he would go away and he would come back and try to do it again. So my friends literally had to guard me. And the craziest part is, it's not just accusation. He admitted this. He admitted to doing this. He put out his tweet longer after mine saying, oh, I'm so sorry, Adriana.
Adriana explained throughout the entire stream that after Novaru brought up the situation, Adriana wanted to speak about it. Allegedly, Maya, Barry, and Mitch came over to Adriana's place to speak about how she should handle the situation publicly. Adriana said that Maya told her to write nothing at all or to do it anonymously. She also said she was made to downplay what allegedly happened with Slick and to push the focus onto Nova for bringing all of this up. In this clip, she called a friend who was there to corroborate what what allegedly happened when she passed out and the twit longer process.
They came over, to our house. Came over like, we're so sorry this happened, blah, blah, blah. We want to make sure, this is handled correctly because, what he did was f***ed up. We typed out your tweet or twit longer or, whatever we were doing. But they wanted to proofread it and have alter it to not make it seem as extreme or not extreme or just like not as bad as it was, Try not paint the image as, that he wasn't such a bad guy.
Earlier in the stream, Adriana played a clip where she described coming to an agreement with Maya because Maya allegedly said, "We don't want to kick him out."
Maya was like, I just don't think you should say anything at all. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Or she said I should say something anonymously or whatever, and was like, no, or I should say it wasn't that big of a deal and I'm over it now. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna be true to myself. I'll make Slick look good, like an angel, because I did. In the tweet longer, if anybody ever bothered to read it, because a lot of people didn't, I make Slick look like an angel. I'm like, hey, it's whatever. This made me uncomfortable, but it's whatever. Even though I was upset with it, I just, I came to a even point with Maya because Maya was like, we don't want to kick him out. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Adriana said towards the end of the stream that she is not sure if Maya tried to get her to downplay what happened or if Miss Giff told Maya to downplay it. Adriana had said earlier in the stream, though, that she was told by someone that Miss Giff sent Maya over to Adriana because it would look better and convince her not to get Slick kicked out.
I was told that Miz sent the most credible, nicest girl on Twitch to talk to me instead of him going over there because it would look better. It'd be better to convince me not to get Slick kicked out.
She later addressed Mitch's involvement. After the twit longer was posted, Adriana said he apologized for how everything went down and his conduct. She also stated that the only reason Trey knows about the situation is because of Mitch. Multiple times on her stream, she expressed how grateful she was for Trainwreck for coming forward with this information, explained how Train has had her back, which she supported in a later tweet. Adriana also spoke about how this entire situation has affected her career, her friendships, and her mental health.
And I saw right in front of my eyes the people that I thought were my friends disregard our friendship for clout. Because it made people, Slick, uncomfortable. Slick, Miz, whatever, to be around me. And it fucking hurt. And yeah, obviously there's a lot of instances where it's like, wow, I could have been in that stream. I could have excelled my career that way. But what hurt the most is the people that I called my fucking friends, my best fucking friends, turn on me because their career was more important.
She said after this clip that she was, quote, blacklisted from events and things were harder for me to grow as a Twitch streamer. Additionally, throughout her entire stream, she described ways Slick would attempt to scare me or intimidate me, whether it be approaching her friends or going to a party he was not invited to. She said earlier in the stream that she actually had gone up to Slick to ask him to stop talking shit and being excluded. She said that she heard Slick spread rumors that she would sleep with people in Austin. Adriana also claimed that Slick told her friends that she has apologized, which she refuted and said she probably apologized for everything happening before asking him to stop talking shit. Since the day of this stream, Adriana Lee has been signal boosting the stories of people's alleged interactions with Slick. She also did this on her stream where she described Slick sending sexual messages to multiple women. So now we are done with the 19th of September. Now we move on to the 20th. Dexter reported on the 20th that Slick, according to Ms. Kiff, appeared to be missing and had sent a farewell message to his friends. On the same day, OTK released a statement that Ms. Kiff had been placed on leave pending investigation, and minutes later, Ms. Kiff posted his statement on all of this. He addressed everything, starting out with Slick being accounted for and safe. He apologized for the statements made on stream about the alleged situation and the DMs. That night, Adriana went live again with a stream entitled Why Am I Not in the Call?, where she live reacted to Hassan, XQC, Trainwreck, and Pokimane all discussing her situation, and she was confused as to why they were discussing it when she was not in the call. During the second stream, Adriana was eventually added to the call and was able to relay her feelings about what was being discussed. She explained to everyone why exactly this was the best time to discuss what had allegedly happened.
I mean, I've witnessed it. I've lived through it. The last time that I came out about this thing, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like, you're valid. Your feelings are valid. Like, you're so strong for coming out about this. And then boom. Oh my God, Crazy Slick lover host. Oh my God, Crazy Slick, Mia Melkova. It's like, at the end of the day, it felt like, goddamn, like, sorry, I'm not a TikTok guy, because Sienna May is getting a lot of heat for touching someone when they're unconscious, and apparently my views can just run free. So what they're trying to say is that the timing of this, no matter how weird you guys think it was, it had to be played out this way, because if it was any other way, people can sit there and they can say, oh, well, we're here for you. Oh, well, this is a situation, because that's what they said in June 2021. Everyone wanted to sit there and virtue signal and pretend that they were there for me and pretend that they were doing the right thing. And then 2 months later, when it was in the clear, everything just reverted back to normal. And you can hear so in the Miz clip where he says, everyone who didn't hang out with Slick still hangs out with him, blah, 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 blah. And then you could also see so in my thread of girls who are continuously got sexually harassed, numbers of them, by Slick.
There had been some animosity beforehand with the likes of Hassan and Pokimane, who were accused of being dismissive of the news. Adriana discussed the importance of taking sexual assault seriously, and Pokey, as well as Hassan, apologized for their respective reactions. Adriana also spoke about how painful it was to suffer in silence the past year and defended Trainwreck once again. On this stream, XCC and Trainwreck described a call that was meant to relay Adriana's story to necessary parties without having Adriana involved.
Because obviously there was going to be denying, there was going to be, this and that.
Invalidating.
So there were mutual parties brought in that were going to mediate it, and Asmongold was one of them. Since he was a part of OTK, there was a bias there. XQC was there, and some of the information was relayed. Barry was there, Mitch was there. Barry and Mitch were both in the house when everything happened. All the information was relayed, and that's what was discussed.
This is a later addition to the story, but apparently on September 22nd, YouTube streamer Destiny somehow got access to a recording of that call. I've not been able to listen to it in its entirety, but allegedly Barry, who you will remember was said to be present with Maya and Mitch when they came over, discussed what he saw as Maya's conduct.
It was basically Maya gaslighting Adriana the whole time, basically saying, are you sure this is what Slick did to you? You're pretty drunk. You wouldn't remember it. Are you sure? That doesn't sound something like Slick would do. We know Slick. And then she was like, if you tweet longer, Crazy Slick, this won't be good for your streaming career. You won't be invited.
The very small bits and pieces I've been able to listen to of this call allegedly show Mizkif admitting to sending Maya over.
I didn't go because you know why I didn't go? I knew that if I went Train, it would have looked immediately like a power play, because it would have. If I went there and I was sitting there at, 30K Andy against these people, it's going to look like a power play and it's going to look bad. The reason why I said Maya is because Maya is much more liked. People respect her, and I feel like Maya can talk to these girls because I want to know what the f went on with my best friend.
Another late addition to the story is what Mitch claims about Mizkif's intentions of sending them over.
Did Miz explicitly give direction to you and Maya and whoever the f else was in that room to go to Adriana's house and to quote unquote downplay the situation or find a way to save Slick's ass? Yes or no?
The answer to that is yes.
After leaving the call with Pokey, Hassan, and others, Adriana went back to her stream to discuss the call, the alleged situation, and sexual assault as a whole. She discussed why it's important for the Twitch community not to sweep these situations under the rug.
These things come out, they're on top of LSF for a week, and then people forget about them. And then the victims have to sit there and live their trauma every single day and watch their abusers prance free and go on Lover Host and joke around with their current friends. I think that this happens so much in the community.
The latter part of the stream was quite emotional and intense as Adriana herself and her viewers shared their stories of sexual assault, with both parties offering support to each other. She also reacted to Mizkif's tweet longer, which I mentioned earlier, which her friend told her he allegedly had to post 4 different times because he had spelled her name wrong. In addition to apologizing for his use of slurs, he wrote that, in terms of his living situation, Slick has been told to vacate our house as soon as possible. I appreciate and support those who were brave enough to come forward with their stories about his behavior. A little while after Slick's misconduct came to light last year, I made some inexcusable statements on a alt stream after some chat messages got to me. To Adriana and all those affected by sexual harassment, I am sorry for those statements. Sexual harassment, regardless of degree, can never be considered small, and while my intention was to clarify a misleading chat message, I chose my words poorly and my response came off as downplaying what should never be downplayed. Adriana mentioned how Mizkif had reached out to her as well as Maya, although she had not read Maya's message yet. She spoke towards the very end about how she hadn't actually realized what had happened to her by Slick was sexual assault, and she hadn't known that he had touched her chest until the day she wrote the the twit longer. And so far, that has been the end of the situation regarding Trainwreck, Ms. Kiff, Crazy Slick, and Adriana Lee. I know we spoke about Slicker and gambling earlier, and Twitch recently made a statement about the future of gambling on their platform, which my colleague Josh has made a video on that was released yesterday, which I recommend all of you check out. 2 important things. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, resources are available where you live. You can follow the link in the description to visit the National Council on Problem Gambling to find out more. Second thing, no survivors of sexual harassment or assault owe you their story, and you have no right to come forward with a story that is not yours. Survivors owe you absolutely nothing. Survivors should never have their career or relationships be harmed because of their bravery to share their story. And just because it wasn't rape doesn't mean it wasn't upsetting or traumatizing. Survivor stories should never be minimized because of the subjective severity of the situation. There are resources for survivors of sexual assault I will leave in the description. If you are a survivor, you are not at fault, you are not alone, and there is help for you available. I am one person telling a summarization of Adriana's story. You owe it to her to listen to her tell it.